Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Story Making at Home. Today is Tuesday, March 24th, and we're ready for story making. That's the part of our schedule. So I was really excited to see how everybody's creativity and imagination was coming alive through all of those nature materials, and you really playing and really thinking about a new way that we can play together. So story makers, that's what you are becoming, right? And you were already doing that because every time that you would play and you make different things, I bet that in your head, it was making you think of all these different things. And that's exactly what story makers do. So let's get started with episode 2 of Story Making at Home, okay? So now we're ready for our imagine part of our lesson, okay? So today, we will learn how to think like a story maker by playing and making with more nature materials, okay? So I want to show you a way. We know how we work, right? We're always going to have a lesson. We're always going to then, most of the time is you going to be out there exploring and playing and making. And then we're always going to come back to do our maker talk, okay? And so that is called the story maker or maker cycle. That's how story makers and makers and engineers out there, that is how they think, okay? So let's think about this process. We're always going to imagine when you're out there and approaching materials for the first time, you are just thinking about all the possibilities and you don't know what's going to happen, but sometimes you really want to inquire and you really want to say, how can I change this material? What else can I do with it? How does it sound? You're going to use all your senses as a scientist, using your sight, touch, to see what are all the properties of that material, okay? That's how you're going to incorporate science in there. Then, when you have all those ideas, you're going to just start playing, okay? You're going to tinker. You're going to repurpose. You're going to see how these materials work together. And you may not have an idea yet. Sometimes I have a preconceived idea that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this today. And sometimes I don't. I just need the materials to kind of talk to me and give me some ideas as I'm playing. And then when you have an idea, like, oh, I know one of my sons like yesterday, oh, this wasn't a monster. This is a mountain. Or my other son made a monster. So when you start to have an idea and you say it out loud. I want to make a, and then you fill in the blank. That's when you really want to spend most of your time making and creating all those details, okay? And the last part of the maker cycle or story maker cycle is that you want to take time to share. Now, share can mean so many things. It could be just tell it to somebody. It also can mean that you can write it down on paper. Like if you just wrote some facts about what you made, or if you just created a story by telling it in the air, that's called writing in the air. You can write that down on paper because now you have a nice visual to really share it. So if you could write it down, that could be your part of your writing, or you can share it. And you could even just take pictures and post it. These are so many great ways that you can share. But that is how story makers and makers all over the world think. Imagine, play, make, and share. And we're gonna do that today, okay? So let's imagine we were really exploring nature materials yesterday. And today I want us to limit those materials, okay? So only pick like 2 or 3 that you wanna work with today. And we have selected sticks. We collected a bunch of sticks. We've collected these really interesting seed pods that we found all outside on our driveway. And then we have a bunch of rocks, okay? And a few of them as well as we found some feathers that, so we can use feathers too. That was a request later. That was just a nice little find. Okay, so here's what we're gonna be doing today, okay? So it says, what can you imagine making with these nature materials? So the first thing is that we can have a stick, okay? So when I showed this to my boys, some of the ideas that we said is, boys, what could this stick become?
I think it could become maybe an eye too.
Okay, so we had arms, we had legs. Somebody said it could, we were saying it could be like a mouth, a cross. What were you guys thinking? What were you guys? I heard a flag. Okay, it could be the flag at the top of a building. It could. Okay, remember, you can change these shapes too. You can break it and transform. It doesn't have to stay that long. Oh, I heard somebody say a bridge. Nice, okay. Oh, all of you are talking all at once, and those are all great ideas. So make sure that you capture those in your home if you want to. Okay, now we had one of the rocks, right? And some things we said, what did we think that rock could be? What could a rock be?
I think it could be like a kind of mud road or something.
Oh, it could be a mud.
A mud road or a river.
Okay.
Or a mud river.
So mud pie, or love. Okay, it could be a head, could be an eye. Oh, a pet. Yeah, some of us have had rock pets, haven't we? Great. Ooh, lollipop, the top of a lollipop. I like that idea. Let's see, what else could that be? Ooh, it could be different places. That's wonderful ideas, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, now to the seed pod. Okay, one thing that we talked about is it could be the eyes. It could be, one of my sons said a bunny tail. It does look like a bunny tail. Or we were just having fun playing with it, and one of my sons grabbed it and went like this and was saying, oh, look, it's like a telescope. I get through that.
That was me.
That was you. That's right. So what else could that little seed pod be, guys? Go ahead and talk about that. Oh, great. Those are all great ideas. So we have this little chart that could be kind of a wonder of the week for you if you wanted to write that down on a piece of paper, where you could tape the item and just add ideas all throughout the week. You could do one item, you can do a couple items, but that's something that you could do with your families, okay? So what we're going to do today is you're gonna pick 1 to 3 of those materials that you collected yesterday, or maybe you want to go back outside and you want to find some other materials that are just in our backyard and from nature. And I want you to imagine, how can you transform those? Change the shape, but how can you imagine these nature materials transforming into ideas or stories that you can share with others, okay? So we learned a lot today, and I can't wait to see how we're gonna do. So right now, everybody press pause. You're gonna go get your materials, okay? And we'll see you during the next segment of Play and Make, so you can see what we're doing on the carpet at our own house. Did you gather your materials, everyone? Great. Okay, so we've selected about 3 nature materials here. You can go ahead and press play. And now it is time for the Play and Make section. So we have gathered 3 nature materials that we're doing today, and my boys wanted to go ahead and work with some blocks. So we selected sticks and these interesting seed pods that we talked about in our lesson. Yes, sir, you can have sticks. And we're starting to just see what kind of ideas or stories will come alive with our playing and making here. So Kai, what are you doing?
Like a monster.
Making a monster?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about the parts of your monster right now.
My monster has 2 feet, an eye.
Can you show everybody your 2 feet? 2 feet and an eye right now. And what did you use as the feet and the eye? What material?
There and there.
The stones. So hopefully you guys are tinkering and just repurposing those materials and seeing what you can do to make those ideas come alive, and see what kind of ideas and stories you might figure out. So have time, really spend a lot of time playing and seeing if it's not going to come right away. So just go ahead and play, and then when some things start to take shape, like when you're looking at clouds and you start to see an image appear, that's when you know that you can say out loud, I'm gonna make a, like Kai did, you're gonna make a what?
A monster.
He's gonna make a monster. So go ahead and pause right now and we'll see you when it's time to share. Go ahead and press play because now we're ready for our share part. So I want you to think about how you're gonna share today. Are you going to, everybody, I think it's always great to take a picture so you can upload to this video after it's done. You can share with the entire world of makers and story makers, okay? So I'm going to, right after this, I'm gonna share with you a little maker talk of one of my sons, what he made. He actually used blocks with his materials, and he made a personal story of going to sports clips. So you can make buildings, you can think about a time that you did something with someone in your family, but that's what we did, is we did a writing in the air on oral storytelling for you. But if you want to write it on paper, you absolutely can do that. We'll have support that later in upcoming Story Making at Home, but make sure you take a picture and share that at the bottom in the comment section after this video, okay? So thank you, everyone. Look for our maker talk right after I'm done talking, and then I want you to share, all right? Thank you, and see you tomorrow for Story Making at Home, episode 3.
Once upon a time, I was going to sports clips, and then the beach boy decided to go to sports clip first, and Daddy said yes. I was in the yarn, and finally it was my turn, and they cut my hair and it squished, and then they blew it off with a hair blower, and then I got a sucker, and then I went to the beach and got crab shells. The end.
Okay, Cole, so can you tell me where you and Daddy are standing in the line? Okay, and can you show me all the hair that was blown on the ground? What are those?
Feathers.
Feathers. And can you show me the sucker that you got at the end of your story?
I got a yellow thing.
A lot of, so all of those are the suckers. Wonderful.